Hallo grade 8, hallo graad 8, les 5. Ons moet die huiswerk maak van oefening 6.6, the homework of exercise 6.6, all about roots. Dit was alles oor wortels. Vierkantswortels, derdemagswortels, maar hierdie beginsels gaan ook geld vir enige groter wortel. These are the principles for square roots and cube roots, but the same principles apply even if it goes bigger. Now that we've got A's and B's and alphabet letters in them, you just have one rule, namely that the exponent is divided by the root size. Nou dat ons met die veranderlikes besig is, moet jy net weet jou eksponent word gedeel deur die wortel grootte. Nou, wortel van 36 was nog altyd 6. Root of 36 has always been 6. The number, the integers roots you've done, and now it's still there together with the variables. Jy het klaar die heelgetalle gedoen, nou is daar net veranderlikes daarby. So dan gaan dit wees a tot die mag 2 gedeel deur 2 wat 1 is. As jy wil, if you don't have to put that 1 there, it's 2 divided by 2. Remember, if there's nothing there, there's a 2. So, minus 16, aha, non-real. Hier is geen reële antwoord. Hierdie antwoord is nie reëel, onthou, dis nie ongedefinieerd nie. The answer is not undefined or impossible. It's just non-real, because there are number systems, the non-real number system. So you've got to say non-real. Ek het nie eers gekyk na die B nie. I don't even look at the B. This is not real, so that's why the whole answer will be not real. Die vierkantswortel van 49, onthou, ken jou hoofvierkantswortel. 1 kwadraat, 2 kwadraat, 3 kwadraat, 4 kwadraat. So your main square numbers are 1 square, 2 square, 3 square. In other words, 1, 4, 9, 16, 25. Those are your square numbers. 1, 2 squares 4, 3 quadrats 9, 16. Know them. Then you'll know that 49 is 7 square rooted. En dan die res van dit is dan weer die reël van 14 gedeel deur. Remember, if there's nothing there, there's a 2. So dan is dit a tot die mag 14 gedeel deur 2 is 7 en 16 gedeel deur 2 is 8. Hier by hierdie sommetjie kan jy nie elkeen apart gaan doen en hier begin sê dis 6x kwadraat en 36 nie. Hierdie som is heeltemal anders in die volgende som wat ek vir jou vir huiswerk gegee het. You cannot do them separate. This is why I gave you number 9 as a homework so that you can see. If you do them separate, it's not going to be the same as that answer there. Because you're not allowed over the plus to do them separately. Jy mag nie oor die plus hierdie apart en daai apart gaan doen en sê tel by mekaar, dit gaan nie dieselfde antwoord wees nie. What you have to do first is add the like terms. Hier kan ek optel gelyksoortige terme, want daai 2 is gelyksoortig, x tot die 4, x tot die 4, bly 'n sekere aantal x tot die 4. When you add the coefficients. As jy optel, tel jy die koëffisiënte bymekaar. As dit gelyksoortig is, dan bly hy x tot die 4, maar jy tel op. 36 plus 64 is 100. When you add the coefficients. En dan bly dit nog steeds in die wortel. Jy het niks met die wortel gedoen nie. Until you do something with that root, it stays there. Every step. Nou kan jy sê, vierkantswortel van 10 is 10. The square root of 100 is 10. And then the exponent law that says 4 divided by 2, 4 gedeel deur 2 is 2. Nou gaan jy kyk, hierdie antwoord is definitief nie dieselfde as daai nie. This answer won't be the same because you've got to do them separate. That's what the question indicates. Jy moet aparte wortels gaan doen. So jy gaan sê, vierkantswortel van 36 is 6, x tot die mag 4 gedeel deur 2 is 2. Vierkantswortel van daai is 8, en onthou plus, waar hy net waar hy was, the plus stays the same, and then x to the power 4 divided by 2. So, square root, square root, square root, square root. The rule is exponent divided by root size, exponent divided by root size. En dis nie jou uiteindelike antwoord nie. Hierdie twee is nou gelyksoortig, they are like terms, so it's going to be something x squared by adding the coefficients. Jy tel die x kwadrate, so koëffisiënte by mekaar, en 6 en 8 gee vir jou 14. 6 plus 8 is 14x squared. Do you see it's not the same answer? Because you're not allowed to do what you've done here inside of the root if there's a plus. You have to first add them and then do the root. It's order of operations. Goed, dieselfde enetjie, maar nou is dit gemaal met mekaar, so you do exactly what's standing there. So it'll be 6x squared times 8x squared again, the same as we did here. Square root of 36 and square root of 64 is what you must know, en dan is die reël. Deel 4 gedeeld deur 2 is 2, 4 divided by 2 is 2. They don't have to be like to be able to time them. This is a different rule. Timing has got different rules. 6 times 8 has always been 48. Jy het nog altyd geweet 6 maal 8 is 48. But now, the answer is not x squared. Because in exponents you were taught when you time and the bases are the same, you keep the base and you add exponents. So the exponent is going to be 2 plus 2 is 4 nie maal nie. As jy met mekaar maal, is 6 maal 8 so 48, maar as jy maal en die grondtalle is dieselfde van veranderlik is, en die grondtalle is dieselfde, net soos by die heelgetalle, dan hou jy die grondtal en jy plus die eksponente, wat totaal nie dieselfde is, daai is nie, want die som was heeltemal ietsie anders. Then we had a few cube root sums. Die derde magswortels, same story. Know your cubes. 1 to the power 3 is 1. 2 to the power 3 is 8. 3 to the power 3 is 27. 4 to the power 3 is 64. Know them. 5 to the power 3 is 125. And 6 to the power 3 is 216. But you have a calculator. But if you know these few first ones, you can easily just spot them. Ken jou hoof derde magsgetalle. 1 tot die mag 3 is 1. 2 tot die mag 3 is 8. 3 tot die mag 3 is 27. 4 tot die mag 3 is 64. 5 tot die mag 3 125. En 6 tot die mag 3 is 216. Ken jou hoof derde magsgetalle. Dan kan jy sommer dadelik vir my sê, aha, maar daai se antwoord gaan wees 3. Maar die minus, is dit nie reëel nie? It's not the same as this one. Remember, you couldn't have a minus in an even root, but you can have a minus in a odd root. Jy kan dit nie in 'n onewe wortel hê nie, maar jy kan wel 'n minus in 'n onewe wortel hê. Met ander woorde, dit gaan minus 3 wees. If that's a minus, it will stay a minus in the odd root. And then the rule, the same as with this, you divide 4 divided by 2, you're going to divide 27 divided by 3 is 9. And that's it. This one again with the plus. You cannot do it separately. You have to first add the like terms. Hoe tel 'n mens die gelyksoortige terme bymekaar? Jy tel die koëffisiënte. 21 en 6 gee vir jou 27. X tot die mag 3. Onthou, as jy gelyksoortige terme optel, dan tel jy die koëffisiënte bymekaar en niks gebeur met daai x tot die mag 3 nie. When you're adding like terms, you add the coefficients and nothing changes to the x to the power 3. Wat verskil van hierdie som? Omdat dit maal is, gaan ek sê as jy maal en die grondtalle is dieselfde, hou die grondtal plus die eksponente. If it's multiplication and your bases are the same, you keep the base and you add the exponents. Rules, rules, rules. There's a multiplication rule that's quite different from adding. Die maalreël is heeltemal anders as plus en min. Plus en min tel jy gelyksoortige terme bymekaar en x tot die 3 bly x tot die 3. Plus and minus, you add the like terms and the variable stays the same. Hierdie som was gewees, derde magswortel. Ek het nog nie die derde magswortel gedoen nie. I still haven't done it, so it must still be there. And then it's again 27, which we know is the cube root of 27 is 3. Derde magswortel van 27 is 3. En dan weer die wet. 3 gedeeld deur 3 is 1. The rule says exponent divided by the root size. 3 divided by 3 is 1. Do you need to put that 1 there? No, you don't. Nobody's going to cry if you do. Same thing. First you have to add, so 24 and 3, if and only if it's like terms. As dit gelyksoortig is. As dit nie gelyksoortig was, nie kon jy nie met hierdie som aangaan nie. If they were not similar, like terms, then I couldn't carry on with the sum. That would be it. Then that's the answer. And you can in math get a big answer like that. Jy kan so groot uitgebreide antwoord kry in wiskunde. Al jou antwoorde gaan nie meer uitwerk net op 1 of 2 of 6 nie. Your answer doesn't only have to go to an integer answer. Okay? So if it's like, then you're adding the like terms by adding the coefficients. When you time and the bases are the same, you keep the base and add the exponents. Do you hear the rules all the time? As jy plus, en is gelyksoortig, hou jy die veranderlike en jy tel die koëffisiënte bymekaar, adding the coefficients gives you 27, maar is heeltemal anders as jy maal, dan hou jy die grondtaal en tel die eksponente bymekaar. Maal plus ander reëls. Multiplication and adding different rules. This is still in a cube root. Now you only in grade 8 do square roots and cube roots, but there are other roots as well, root 4, root 5, root whatever. En met al die ander wat daar ook is, 4de magswortel, 5de magswortel, bly hierdie reël. Jy doen in graad 8 net vierkantswortels en 3de magswortels, maar die reël bly dieselfde of daar nou 'n 6 staan of wat. You still gonna divide the two by each other. 3de magswortel van 27, dis nou toevallig. It's very, very unusual or just by coincidence, by chance that I had a 27 and a 27 and a 27 in these three sums. Cube root of 27 is 27, and then with x, moet jy 18 deel deur 3. 18 divided by 3 is 6. Reg. Goed, jou laaste twee huiswerksomme, jou laaste homework sums, 9 and 10. Same story. They're in different separate roots. Hulle is in verskillende wortels, so jy doen hierdie een apart en daai een apart. Just do them separately. I like these sums because they're mixing it up. Cube root and a square root. Square root and a cube root. Ek hou van hierdie somme want dit is nou so gemeng. Daar's 'n 3de magswortel en 'n vierkantswortel. Daar's 'n vierkantswortel en 'n 3de magswortel. So jy doen elkeen op sy eie. En elke sommetjie hanteer jy elkeen apart. Die getal minus 27, mag ek? May I do minus 27? Yes, because it's an odd root. Minus in 'n onewe wortel is fine. If this was a minus, your whole sum would be non-real. As hierdie 'n minus 49 was, het jy onmiddellik vir my gesê non-real, nie real. As 'n stukkie nie real is die hele ding nie real. Even if just a part of the sum is non-real, the whole answer is going to be non-real. But it isn't, it's plus 49. So, this one can because it's negative, and your answer will be of a cube root of minus 27 is minus 3. Cube root, you're going to say 12 divided by 3, geef jou x tot die mag 4. 12 gedeel deur 3. Then you've got a minus there, so keep the minus there. Hou die minus. Dan is dit vierkantswortel van 49 wat 7 is. En dan gaan jy sê 8 gedeel deur 2. It's 8 divided by 2. Remember, if there's nothing there, there's a 2. 8 divided by 2 is gee dan weer vir my 'n 4. Nou is hier nog 'n kans om aan te gaan. I cannot stop there because I can simplify. How come I can simplify? Hoekom? Want daai is gelyksoortig. If this was x4, x10, then you stop. As hierdie x4 en x tot die 10 of wat ook al was, different, unlike, then you would stop. But it's not, it's like terms. So when you add the coefficients of the like terms. So it's going to stay x4, but you add minus 3 and minus 7 is minus 10. As jy optel, tel jy die koëffisiënte van die gelyksoortige terme bymekaar en dit bly x4. Niks gebeur met die x4 nie. You're not adding the 4 and the 4 because it's adding, you keep the variable but you add the coefficients. Hoor jy moet heeltyd hierdie reëls met jouself praat. The rules change. If it's multiplication it's different, if it's adding it's different. Goed, apart. Do them separate. Square root of 36 is 6 and then you say 16 divided by 2 is 8. Daar staan 'n minus. If there's a minus there, and something else, keep it in a bracket. Very important. Because now that answer of negative 46, first of all, it can because it's odd. Hy mag 'n min hê want dit is onewe. So min 64 se derde magswortel gaan wees en jy moet hom eintlik ken. But check it on your calculator if the root of 64 is really 4. Because cubes are 1, 8, 27, 64. Try to get them into your brain. Probeer om jou derde magte te kan ken. 1 tot die mag 3 is 1. 2 tot die mag 3 is 8. 27. 64. Then you would know that it's 4. But please check your calculator. Moenie skaam wees om altyd jou sakrekenaar nader te sleep nie. I know in primary school they said no calculator, but you can use your calculator as a backup. So I'm always going to try, you use your own brain and then you go to your calculator brain. Reg, so asseblief gebruik jou sakrekenaar. and it's x to the power 24 gedeeld deur 3 gee vir jou 7. Nee, jok, verskriklik. 24 divided by 3 is 8. Why do I need the bracket? Sorry, it was negative, right? Negative. So derde maals wortel bly in negatief. Hoekom moes jy dan die hakkie gehou het? Why do I need the bracket? Otherwise there was a minus and a minus next to each other, which just doesn't look right. But you have to time. Hier staan jy moet dit maal. Daar staan jy moet maal. So min maal min is 'n plus. There's a whole step necessary here just so that you could do that one thing. A minus times a minus is a plus times. Kan ek aangaan met hierdie som? Can I finish this sum or must it stay there? If they are like terms, you can carry on, and they are. The variables look the same. As hulle gelyksoortig is, kan jy aangaan en hulle is, want kyk hoe lyk daai veranderlik is. So dit gaan 'n sekere hoeveelheid x tot die mag 8 wees deur die koëffisiënte op te tel. It'll stay x to the 8, but you're only adding the coefficients. 6 and 4 is 10, x to the 8. Right, I started the new work there, and this is going to be your homework. Die nuwe werk is substitusie. Substitusie beteken presies wat dit sê. If I substitute one thing for something else, if your mom does a nice, some sort of a cooking some meal, and instead of peas, she puts in some carrots, that's substituting one for the other. As jou ma 'n lekker dis wil maak en sy gaan jou die ertjies byvoorbeeld vervang met worteltjies, dan beteken dit sy het dit gesubstituut, gevervang. 'n Mooier naam in Afrikaans is vervanging, maar substitusie gaan ons nou gebruik. Daar's 'n liedjie wat sê substitute, can I be your substitute? All about the girl wanting to substitute the other girl as your partner, as your girlfriend. Substitution. The one gets taken out and the one gets placed inside of it. So if I say, calculate the following, there's the sum. But I say, if x, this x, is negative 2, and y, this y, is negative 3, can you calculate it? Yes, because you're going to substitute it. Here's the golden rule for substitution. The sum stays exactly as it was. But everywhere that there's an x and there's a y, you put the brackets. So that in the place of x comes negative 2. In the place of y comes negative 3. So the golden rule, if you don't want to make mistakes, everywhere that there's x's and y's, if there's a lot of them, you put everywhere little brackets so that you can substitute the x in the place of x and the y in the place of y. Because now this, a calculator can do. Now remember, we do want you to use your own brain, so you can check with the calculator, but we need to see the steps. So we want to see that you are first going to do, according to order of operations, the brackets, which means the powers. Ons wil sien dat jy weet, jy moet eers die magte gaan doen met volgorde van bewerkings. So leave the 3 and leave the minus 3, but first do the squaring. So wat doen ek as ek min 2 kwadraat gaan doen? Is 'n min maal 'n min is 'n plus, en 2 maal 2 is 4. So minus 2 squared is a minus squared, which in any case a negative to an even exponent is a plus, and 2 to the power 1 times 2 gives me 2 squared, which is 4. sien jy, al die reëls kom saam. Everything that we've been doing separate comes together at a stage. And then I haven't left enough space there, but the answer is going to be a plus times a minus gives me a minus. Daar's 'n plus maal 'n plus, wat plus bly. Maal 'n min gee vir my 'n min. And then you can go with your calculator if you're scared to say 3 times 4 is 12, and 12 times 3 is 36. Please check it on your calculators. You can't put that in your calculator, but the moment that they are substituted with numbers, you can put this in a calculator. The whole thing, every bracket and all. If the answer comes to minus 36, you know that you've done this step correctly. Jy kan nie dit gaan doen met 'n calculator nie, maar dit kan jy wel doen met 'n saakrekenaar. En as jy dit presies met al die hakies in gaan vervang, gaan jy sien dis min 36. Dan weet jy jy het hierdie stappe ook reg gedoen. Let's do another 2 examples. Now, sometimes in the exercises they'll say for all the x's are minus 6 and all the y's are 3. Then that's what you do. Or they can say for every sum, they're changing it up. So you've got to read carefully in every sum. Now first of all, before you just start doing stuff, have a look. Yes, I can go x, y, x, y, x, y, brackets, brackets, and put them in there, and that would be right. But you could have saved yourself some trouble if you saw. Kyk 'n bietjie hierdie goed. Hoef ek nie net te sê hakie, 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 hakie en vervang dit in nie. Hier is hoeveel terme, how many terms, separated by plus and minuses. Terme, daar's 3. There are 3 terms. Look at the terms. They are like terms. So alternatively, instead of leaving it as is and putting bracket, 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 kan jy 'n alternatief gebruik, 'n ander metode en eers sê, wag 'n bietjie, ek kan hierdie gelyksoortige terme optel, because they're all xy, xy, xy. So add them and get a number of xy's by adding the coefficients. So we've got minus 2 and 5, geef my 3. 3 minus 7 geef my minus 4. So if I add the coefficients, I've got a much simplified answer. But I still have to do the substitution. Nou sê juffrou, of jy nou eers al die substituties gedoen het, alles uitgemaal het, antwoord gekry het, en of jy hierdie tegniek gaan doen, jy gaan by dieselfde antwoord uitkom. Alternative methods must give you the same answer. Very important. So, if I did this, then I'm going to have minus 4 times x times y, and I'm substituting the x and the y with x with negative 3 and the y with negative 4. Make sure you substitute with the right stuff. And then you can use a calculator again or your own brain and say a minus times a minus times a minus. There are 3 minuses. Every 2 gives you a plus. So 3 minusse gee vir my 'n minus antwoord. And then calculator or own brain, you get 12 times 4 is 48, or 16 times 3 is 48, whichever way you want to do it. Calculator, 4 times 3 times 4, do it all the way. Minus 4 times minus 3 times minus 4, and you'll get the minus 48 answer. Okay, again the same thing. So can I go and substitute the x and substitute the x with minus 5? Absolutely. Or, like we did in the homework, adding the like terms. There are like terms. If they weren't like, if this was an 8, you had to go put x minus 5, x minus 5, carry on with the sum. But since they are like terms, I can make my life a little easier. Alternative methods. Adding 60 and 64 gives me, 60 and 4 gives me 64. X to the, when you add the coefficients, it stays x9. But when you time, you add the exponents. Careful that you know your rules. Don't make a mistake by writing just the square root without the cube there. Then the cube root of that is 4. X to the 9 divided by 3 gives me 3. But where's the substitution? So you could have started with substitution, and then the answer would have been the same as it's going to be here. But don't forget to do the substitution if you did this method. I still have to substitute x with negative 5. Then take your calculator. I'm scared I'm going to work it out incorrectly. Although you should know that 5 cubed is 125. And then 125 times 5 gives me 500. But careful, it's first 4 times negative 125. Remember, we want steps. Negative to an uneven exponent is a negative. Negatief tot 'n onewe exponent is 'n negatief. En 5 tot die mag 3 is jy veronderstel om te ken 125. En 'n min maal 'n plus is 'n minus times a plus is a minus. And then that gives me 500. You use your calculator. It's fine. You can use your calculator. So, homework for substitution is in exercise 6.8, oefening 6.8. Onthou, juffrou skryf nie die bladsynommers nie, maar dit is hier by bladsy 78 rond. It's there around about the 70s pages. Get the correct page. 1, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, and 9 for next time. Thank you.